What's up, dude? Trying to find a place to put my phone. It's charging right now, so I kind of want to keep it on the charger. Maybe I can find a little happy spot here somewhere. Oh man. Chargers. Looking like it's not gonna happen. What's it look like when the phone's turned? Can I just set it like that and it's fine? We'll just unplug it for now. Gotta be straight. Yeah, I'll keep it straight. I just took it off the charger. I have like 20%, so we'll leave it where it's at. Yeah, there's no particular reason. And how do I keep the live chat up? Will it say something? Because it keeps disappearing. Yeah. If you're still watching, say something. Let me see if it shows up so that I can keep responding to you. Yep. Yeah, dude. I'm just chilling right now. My brother and I were talking about psychedelics because he just had a trip last night. And yeah, we just got talking and it put me in this really introspective headspace. And I just came in here and was just like sitting, meditating. I was playing the singing bowl for a while, and now I got the old Tom Pura right here. And yeah, like I said, there's not a particular reason like I made this. I'm just like hanging out. Yeah, you like live streams? It's a really good way to be in like direct communion with someone rather than make a video on something and then a little later they comment on it and then makes you think and you got to reply like in the comment form right there rather than just like actually being able to communicate in the moment, you know? So how are you, man? I feel like I've seen some of your comments on my videos. I can't remember which videos I've seen it on, but I'm pretty sure I recognize your name. And where are you right now? Like, what are you up to, you know? Like, I just went live and I'm sitting here. This is what's going on, you know? I got a bunch of weed hung up behind me that I grew. And that's pretty far out. If you ever seen my weed growing videos, like I made one not too long ago. Somebody stole my fucking plants. Like, straight up stole my plants. Probably like a month or so ago. I was working on harvesting and it was Saturday. It was all nice out. First thing in the morning, I got my coffee and got in my car, drove out to where my plants are, which isn't like far away at all. And the night before, we had a pretty crazy rainstorm and like really intense wind. So the plants were like blown all around, and I was driving out there, and I was driving up to where I was gonna harvest, and I look over, and usually I can see my plants like standing up, and I didn't see them. I was like, damn, that storm did a bunch of damage, you know what I mean? Like, and then I keep driving, and they're completely like gone, like not even there. And I just shut my car off, and I get out, and I walk over, and I'm like, these fucking plants got stolen, dude. You know what I mean? Like, oops. Yeah, they were completely ripped out of the ground, and I had one really big plant, and all the tops were cut off of it. Yeah, dude, it's crazy. Like, I was in straight shock. I almost made a video about it, bro. Like, because I was like so taken back that people do that. Like, you hear all about it all around you, all the craziness of how people are and how they treat each other, how they treat, like the crazy shit we do, the criminals, the thieves, the murderers, just the violence. And but it doesn't usually happen to us, not often. And we hear about it and go, wow, that's very unfortunate, but we don't feel for it. But the second it happens to you, the second it actually happens to you, you're like, damn, these kind of people actually exist. You know what I mean? This isn't just, it happened to me. I feel personally attacked, And yeah, I saw that my plants were stolen. And, it's honestly, in a karmic sense, like in the literal sense of it, they're right by the road. They're really tall. Well, not really tall, but big buds. You could see them so easily from the road. And tons of cars drive by every single day. So it kind of makes sense when you think about it like that, like somebody just saw the plants, they parked their car, and they came over and stole them. It has nothing really to do with but of course we have egos, we have personal feelings, and it was the whole trip of someone stole my plants, you know what I mean? And yeah, I was just like in a stunned, like all day long. I was like, damn, people do this. And it was a feeling also of like disrespect to the plants, because I know, like, out in the garden, it was literally a crime scene. Like, there were leaves and branches strewn all out towards the road, and like buds all over the ground that they didn't care to get because they were in such a rush because they're doing something they know they shouldn't be doing. And to think, like, I was laying in bed in the middle of the night, there's literally people out in my garden stealing my pot plants. And yeah, just the feeling, like, the day of... Wait, oh, that's someone else. Is that someone else? Would you just say? I was just gonna type it before you said it. What are you talking about? You were gonna type what? This live chat thing is kind of weird. I gotta have it like close so I can see it. Disrespect, yeah, exactly, bro. Like, I was sitting there and, I was like, okay, I guess I'm not harvesting today. And I went inside and I told my brother, and he's like, no way, like, and yeah, I just started thinking of think of what it's like. I hope it hasn't happened to you, but to have your child kidnapped from you. Yeah, and that's another thing, is it is legal where I grow here, but the government does say they shouldn't be visible from the road. So that's also on me. Like I said, karmically it makes sense. But it was literally the feeling of like the mistreatment of those plants. I was like, those plants were stuffed in the back of someone's car, maybe even in a bag, and driven off to this other location. And it's stolen. It's literally stolen weed. How good does the person feel inside that stole that, you know? They're going to be smoking it or selling it, knowing inside that this is not even their plant, you know? They're going to get a bad high from it. That's what my mom said, you know? She's really into like Wiccan stuff and witchcraft, and she's like, "Oh yeah, they're going to have a hard time when they smoke that." And I was like, "Nah, I hope they get high as fuck." I got a little bit of like, I'll show it to you. A whole plant, and this is all I got, one of each of them. And you know what? I don't even smoke that much anymore. So it's really like, it's not a super big deal. It's not, it's just the feeling of like, damn, like people do that. It was my baby, dude. They were my babies. And that's why it feels so intense, or did feel so intense, because it's like, I raised those things from a seed. And little did I know that those little seeds I was growing, and the little seedlings, and working on them and giving them love, where they were going to end up, they're going to get fucking stolen. And I was just like, damn, dude, like, I don't even really care that I'm not mad because, oh, I can't smoke that anymore, you know? Like I said, I don't even smoke that much anymore. But the disrespect to the plants, and the idea that people do that, the idea that there's someone running around scheming like that, and they're all over the place. These people are like, it just doesn't happen to you directly super often. Like this is another little story. A while ago at work, dude, someone, like, I work at a dispensary, and like, I'm the bud tender where I talk to them all and I sell the weed. And this, you know, it's interesting because you see a very wide array of people and personalities and how people carry themselves and stuff like that. And dude, this one guy came in, and I was like hooking him up, asking what he's looking for. And he got what he wanted, and he didn't buy it yet. He just picked it out, and then he was going to be checked out by the other person. And I was like, all right, I'm going to go out back for a second. And when I come back, you know, because there's another person out there working. And when I come back, this guy is like flipping out, dude, like saying the weirdest shit. And he's all intense, and his body's all like, he's all standing tall. He's not even like a big, super muscly guy, but he's standing like he's fucking a badass, you know? And he's like, this is fucked up. This is unacceptable. You don't know who you're fucking with, and all this stuff. And he's not saying it to me, he's saying it to the other guy. And I'm like, what the fuck is this guy going on about? And another customer comes in, and I'm serving him, and I just hear this guy like, this is fucking bullshit. And it's a tiny little area, so it's like echoing through the whole thing. I'm like, what the fuck is this guy tripping about? And my coworker literally like left. He started like crying and left, like got scared and intimidated by this guy and left. And I start talking to this guy. I'm like, what's going on, you know? And he's like saying all, like I was saying all this weird shit, like, this is fucking bullshit. And I'm like, what are you talking about? And I to this day don't even know really what he was going on about, but it was something with the ATM. He got his money, he got his card back, but he was like saying the ATM is like cycling his data through the thing. And I'm like, he was all like paranoid, and he was creeping me out kind of, because he kept leaving the store and then coming back in. And I was like, is this guy about to shoot me because he's so mad, you know? Because like he was just like tripping out. But yeah, just that interaction in general. This was a guy that was quite older than me, probably 40 or so years old, and he's having like a temper tantrum. And it's like, I'm just talking to this guy like, okay, I get it, you're angry, I didn't say that, but I'm just curious, why are you so worked up? And he's like, listen, I know you're trying to calm me down with your words, but it's not working. And he's like just geeking, bro, like going off. And just that people carry themselves like that. That's kind of the point of what I'm saying, is like, it's just the fact that people react so intensely. Not only that, but like the person stealing the plants, and like the sliminess of people and how they act. Yeah, exactly, bro. Exactly. And to be, it is very sad. Like, to be that old and to be able to talk to people like they're a piece of shit. And even better, the guy was all pissed off and left, and then he comes back and he's asking me, can you call my phone, because I think I left it in here. And that's when I was like, dude. And he's still like geeking about it, and I was like, you need to chill out a little bit, because like, you're flipping out, and now you're gonna come in here and start like asking me for help. Like, what the fuck? Like, yeah, it's wild. Yeah, see, and something with my videos is like, I'm alive every day, you know? All this shit's always happening. Everything is happening. And it's like, I don't like to make videos in the sense of, gotta make a video, you know what I mean? I like to, because it will come naturally out after a while, whether it's like 2 videos in a week, or 1 video and then a month later another video. I'll just like going through all this stuff, and then suddenly it's like, I'm gonna talk about this in a video. And like, it's the same thing with going live right now. Like, I don't know why I went live, like, I don't have anything to talk about. I was just sitting here playing with my singing bowl and this Tumpura thing, and I was like, you know what, fuck it, I'm gonna go live on YouTube. But yeah, I appreciate you guys for coming in and hanging out and talking. Do you, what kind of videos of mine do you usually watch? Like, the psychedelic videos, the weed videos, spirituality, philosophy stuff? Like, I feel like, again, I've seen your name around before, but like, I can't remember on which videos. Oh, none? How did you find this live? Are you... I forget, honestly. Did this live just like pop up in your feed or something? That's funny. Hold on, I'm gonna go... I'll bring my phone with me. Gotta reload the Juul, bro. Lighting is a lot better in here. From Philly. You're still here. What's up, man? And yeah, like, just because I'm live and you guys are here, I'll tell you, like, if there's anything, I mean, except for you, Gabe Slice, because I just so happen to pop up in your feed. If there's anything you want to ask or have me talk about or share something on, let me know, because that's a big part of like what these lives would even be, because I don't have anything to like talk about, and if I did, I'd probably like just make a video or something. But I feel like this is a really cool way to like directly in the moment talk about what's on our minds, Yeah, the lighting is a lot better in here. Hold on. Maybe I'll just sit on the floor. I have done DMT many times. I've done DMT at least 20, 25, 30 times. Um, and that's a whole. I have tons of videos about DMT. I have tons of like trip reports on it and like theorizations on what it is. And not what it is, but just like the experience and what it says. I'm extracted some, but I'm scared to do it alone. That's not a irrational fear, man. That's actually really smart of you. That's really mature of you and responsible of you to. I mean, there's not really anything wrong with doing it alone, because, like, only in the sense of the physicalness of, like, there's been reports of people that puke on it and they're so out of the context of what's going on that they like choke on their puke or something. But DMT is physically really safe. And that's the only thing, at least with DMT, that somebody's gonna like be able to assist you with. But as far as the actual inner experience, a little friendly anymore. A trip sitter, Terrence McKenna had a really good point that like sitter is a good word, but guide or like anything like that, they're not really guiding you through anything. It's in that moment, it's you and the substance you're using, And yeah, I've done DMT alone, like whether I was at the house all alone or like I ventured off into the woods to be more in the like forest surroundings. There's nothing wrong with doing it alone, and honestly, I prefer to do psychedelics alone. And yeah, with DMT, like if you do DMT with a group of friends, it's not like you're just hanging out doing DMT. No, you're like all in your own world, and like it's a vibe in being able to like my brother and I used to do DMT together quite a bit, and we would load the pipe up with a lot, and then I'd take a hit, pass it to him, he'd pass it to me, and we'd just pass it until like we're both really deep in the experience, and we're just like if you saw it from the outside, it literally looks like two people like nodded off on heroin or something. We're just sitting there like, and then we slowly come back, and we kind of come back together as the chemical wears off, at the relatively same time, and talk about what we went through. And sometimes we'd be like, let's do it again, That reminds me of a funny trip we had. Not really funny in the moment of it, but in retrospect, it's kind of funny to think about it. Yeah, that's very smart of you to want a sitter. And at the very least, have someone know that you're going to be doing it. Like, I'm about to use DMT, you know what I mean? Like, have somebody know that you're going to be doing it. They don't even have to be in the same room, but have someone know that you're going to be doing it at the very least, if you can't have someone there, What got you interested in DMT? It's probably why you saw me on your feed. Thank you for watching, C. I really appreciate it, man. Yeah. Yeah, see, that's the vibe right there, is like no topic. We're just chilling, and it's right now. Like wherever you guys are, one of you I know is in Philly, and I don't even know. Like, do you mean like Philadelphia, like in the United States, or like I can't think of another Philly. But we're all here. We're all just here right now. What are we gonna do about it? Canada gang, nice, dude. Canada, eh? Gabe, you said something and I didn't see it. Wanted to communicate with other dimensions. DMT is a very good way of doing that. DMT, man. Have you ever taken LSD or mushrooms or anything like that? Or would like DMT be your first psychedelic experience? Yep. Would you take LSD or mushrooms? Yeah, dude. Yeah. Did you only do it that one time? Not only does it change and rearrange your past, but it changes your future. It definitely changes the trajectory of how you live your life and how you look at life and what this is. Yeah, I haven't really messed with mushrooms that much. I've taken them a few times, and my brother and I were actually just kind of talking about it. Like, there's only been a couple times where I've taken enough mushrooms to really like feel it, and I only have like one actual trip on it, and it wasn't even super intense, nowhere near the potential of what these things actually hold. But I remember being like really taken back how it was literally, because like Terrence says, everything is kind of like everything else at the low dose range. A little bit of LSD, a little bit of mushrooms, a little bit of MDMA. It's kind of like this just arousal. And yeah, the little bit of mushrooms I took, I remember I took them and then I started coming up on them, and it was literally, this was the staple of the experience. It was LSD, but like cut in half. I came up and it was like acid, and the very subtle visuals I'm seeing, and the dilated pupils and the feeling and the headspace. And right as it was like, with LSD, when you get to that peak point, it's like it lasts for a while. Right as that was coming about, it was going away. And I was like, dude, this was literally like fucking acid in like 5 hours rather than 8 or 12. Someone's held on. I saw that message. Yeah, see, I feel you, man. What was causing the pain? Or what was the subject of the pain? What was it that was hurting you and troubling your mind? You don't have to share, by the way, if you don't want. It's just, I'm curious. I think one of the most profound, I see your message. I'm going to reply to what Gabe, I think it just said prior to that. I think one of the most profound realizations I've had with psychedelics was the sheer and utter difference between who you are and who you think you are. There's a very, very paradoxically drastic and subtle difference between who you think you are and who you are. And this came to me in the form of what I would call, or like what people kind of collectively call ego death on LSD. I have a video about this, but I'll try to like kind of sum it up. I took the LSD and I hadn't taken it in a while. It was actually quite a while since I had taken it, and it started coming on. And in the time between when I last did it and when I was doing it that night, I had done a lot of further extensive research on psychedelics, spirituality, and I had learned consequently about the thing people call ego death, where you don't know who you are and you realize you don't exist, and all this far-fetched stuff that you hear it and it's like, oh wow, that's really cool, that's really deep. But when you actually kind of experience it, it's you see what people are talking about afterwards, because during it you're like, you are everything. You are everything. And yeah, what happened was I started tripping. I was coming up on it and I was like, okay, I'm tripping pretty hard right now. I bet this is where people usually have ego death. So in a kind of arrogant way, I said, okay, who am I? I'm saying this to myself. Who am I? And I asked myself that question, who am I? And the same voice that I just voiced that with in my head tells me who I am. You're Devin. And I'm like, no, that's just a name. Like, who am I? You're a human. And I was like, that's just more words all strung together. Who am I? You're tripping on LSD. That's not who I am. I'm asking, who am I? And this is all my internal dialogue. And it got to the point where I realized that the mind can't say who I am. The mind, it's not you. You are not your mind. And I was realizing that my mind can't tell me anything about myself. They're just ideas that I learned. And I started kind of getting uptight and, like, damn, like kind of frightened, because I was realizing there is nothing that voices me besides everything that exists, which at the time was the room and my brother, and that was reality. In the same way that this, right now, you watching this video, listening to me talk and me talking and being in this room, this is reality. And I was realizing the difference between awareness, just fundamental awareness, and who I think I am, which was everything my mind was making up, including the question, who am I? There is no one. There is no one that I am. And if there's anything that I am, it's everything. There are no boundaries. The mind creates, fabricates, and structuralizes boundaries of, I am Devin, I am on LSD, I'm tripping, I'm having ego death. Who am I? What is this? That's my brother. This is the room. But none of it seemed utterly irrelevant. It had nothing to do with who I actually am, my actual being. And you can't voice yourself. You can't, it's like trying to, as Alan Watts puts it, bite your own teeth or touch the tip of this finger with the tip of this finger, or trying to hear your ears or see your sights or feel your feelings. You are sight. You are sound. You are the feeling. There isn't a separate being that feels feelings, hears sights, is someone, you know? Maybe you don't. I still, to this day, don't, like... It's quite a bit to wrap your head around, but in the moment, it's pure. It's pure. The very simplest way that I can put it is we are not words. You know, the word water doesn't quench your thirst. Who you think you are isn't you. You are beyond that. Water is not the word water. You know? Devon, human, Northwood shaman, whatever the mind pukes up is not you. And that's kind of the essence of neti neti, which is a Buddhist practice of not this, not that, not this, not that. That was how I felt that night, was I wasn't anything besides everything. And it's just like, what the fuck does that even mean? You know, in like the really, I don't know. It's far out shit. It's far out shit. And you know, that state is it's always. It just is. What do I do for a living? I work right now. That's such a funny question. Right now I work at a dispensary, a cultivation facility / dispensary. And usually I work in retail as like what they call the bud tender, where you know, people come in and you ask them what they're looking for, whether it's weed, pre-rolls, edibles, dabs, carts, whatever they're looking for, and try to kind of like point them in the right direction of what they're looking for. But sometimes, and you know, the actual reason I started working there was the cultivation aspect of it, of, you know, in the back of the building is all these different indoor grow rooms, and, you know, working with the plants, growing the clones, defoliating, you know, cleaning out the grow rooms, all that stuff is what and like trimming and harvesting and drying is my main interest, I feel. But working in retail is fine, you know. Getting to talk to people, and some people are really interesting, you know. Some people like this crazy thing that I am talking about with the psychedelics and ego death. Some people are like that. Like, you can't put them into words. They are like a trip to experience them, and like just the way people carry themselves is so interesting. See, I want to look at what you've said recently. I saw it earlier before I started. Jesus Christ, bro. Damn. Deja vu. When you can find identity in something that is not shifting and morphing all the time is what is so beautiful about identity. And, you know, the thing that's not shifting and morphing and making up stories, all you're kind of left with is the awareness that you are. What's up, man? I saw your comment. Fish pondering. Hey, what's up, dude? You're the one that's put some pretty interesting comments on some of my videos. Oh, and Gabe, I'm in Maine. I'm up in Maine. Identity is our main problem, man. Identity is beautiful. And like when we talk about grounding, you know, I don't know, it's so abstract, you know. Identity is the thing that allows us to move through something and understand that we are able to get through this and more than what things seem to be. But identity is also the thing that we're trying to get out of, that we're trying to move through of, I don't like this. This is what I need. This is what, you know what I mean? The lighthouse. How so? Use Tantra. What do you mean by that? A lot of people think Tantra is sexual. But that's just because Tantra talks about utilizing our very desires as a sort of like generator of ecstatic awareness, you know? And the second Westerners hear that, man, they're like, oh, I can use my desires? I can indulge in my desires and get more enlightened? Shit, I'm on that, you know? Tantra kind of gets a weird, miscued rep. And Fish, what do you mean the lighthouse makes a good awareness metaphor? Elaborate. Yeah, it kind of reminds me of like the comparisons between attention and focus and awareness. How they kind of compare it in this way of like a spotlight and a floodlight, you know? That's a beautiful statement, man. It's like heroin and it's not sexual. I feel you, bro. I feel you. It's crazy. I feel like no, don't go away, damn it. Man, I feel like so many of these things you guys are sharing, I could just sit and think about, you know? Really just like try to absorb what you're saying. And it's so interesting how we're all these little individuals. There's this way and there's that way, and here we are. Gabe, it's always nice talking to you, man. It's really cool to be doing this live. See you, man. I'm reading Fish Pondering's comments here. He's talking about some crazy shit. I see what you're saying, man. Kali is very fascinating, very intriguing. I feel like the best description of Kali I've ever heard is one of Alan Watts. If right now you're feeling generally fine and okay and comfortable and relaxed and you're just sitting here chilling watching this video, that's because, in contrast, there's something in the very far reaches of your mind that just must not happen. Like, it can't happen. It's absurd, and it's just, no, this can't happen. You know, usually like death. That is Kali. The thing that we just can't stand. And to meditate on Kali is to meditate on the most horrid of our forms. And they talk about Kali eats your suffering. Kali eats your pain. Kali eats your delusion and ignorance. And you give it to her. And she devours it. She eats it alive. What was that? Shiva, on the other hand, Shiva, oh God, Shiva's the one, the trip. Shiva's the creator and the destroyer, the thing that's happening right in front of your face, you know? And it's like, is that a question, or did you not mean to add that question mark thing? Yeah, she does. She points towards the formless. I don't know, man. You just look. There's obviously all sorts of context and like description of what Kali is, but just look at her. Look at her, bro. Like, she's like void of color. She's black. She got these beady eyes and her tongue like just trip mode, like intensity, with a necklace of heads and, you know, well, a necklace of skulls or whatever it is, and holding a severed head and a, you know, and she's standing on Shiva's chest. Like, this is a depiction of like just ferociousness, a divine ferociousness, though. And I mean, what's the difference? Is there not divine ferociousness? Is being killed like not divine? Is suffering greatly not divine? Is being angry and greedy and attached not divine? These things in their most grossest forms are Kali, you know, the manifestation. And this is just my understanding of it, you know. Of course, there's plenty of different dialects of what Kali is. Would a righteousness revolution be an essence of Kali? Well, if you think about it, man, you know, like the yugas, apparently we're in the Kali Yuga, which is the complete chaotic breakdown of everything, you know? And I guess with the depiction of Kali, you know, standing on the chest of Shiva, it's happening all on Shiva. Kali is playing out in the field of Shiva. And Shiva is that it's even happening at all, you know. Shiva does his dance and everything is going. Righteousness and arrogance. Is righteousness even good at all? Or is it literally just another word for arrogance? You know? I usually don't feel too good inside myself when I'm righteous. When it's like, I know. This is what's up. This is what it is. You're not doing something right, and I'm here to tell you how to do it. You know what I mean? Like, what is healthy righteousness? You know? Righteousness maybe in the sense of, like, confidence of, like, just knowing your place as a limited mind and body that is in karma, you know, kind of like stuck in karma, doing stuff, and the sort of responsibility that comes with that of, you know, just trying not being an asshole, not being selfish. And you can't not really be selfish consciously, you know. Hold on. I feel that's a very well put together statement. But, like, are you consciously doing the right thing for the right reason? Because if you're talking to someone, whether you're in an argument or, like, someone's asking you for help or something, are you inside going, you know, I'm going to do the right thing right now. I'm going to do the right thing for the right reason. Or is the right thing to do not really as mentally available as we'd like it to be, you know? Is the right thing a little more formless, a little more subtle of, you know, you touch your hand to something that's hot like a stove. You don't think, I'm going to do the right thing and take my hand off this because it's hurting my hand. The hand naturally retracts without thought. That's almost like pure non-attachment to the right thing to do. Or, you know, like, you see someone fall. Do you go and help them? Or do you think, karma? You know, what is our role? What place do we play in action, in karma? What are we to do? You know, and talking about the right and wrong thing to do, it's kind of, I don't know, it's complex. It's kind of the chaos that's going on right now is they're doing it right and they're doing it wrong, and this is how I feel about it, and what am I going to do about it, you know, and what kind of dictates right and wrong. Your place is right where you are. Your place is what you're doing right now. And I don't know if you were here earlier when I was talking about the ego death thing, of how I can't proclaim a single thing about myself. I guess in that same sense, like, I can't say anything about myself because I just am myself. You can't proclaim your place in this. You're in your place. You're in your place. You're playing your part, you know? Even if your part is to think you're someone that doesn't know their part, you know? What is my part? What am I to do? You can't capture yourself in language, man. The word water doesn't quench your thirst. You can't. Who's talking? The one who's talking isn't words. But the memory is nice. I think the memory is like everything we're fucking talking about, Fish, I've wanted to make a video with you before, bro. Do you make videos? I wonder if memory is a form of PTSD. Oh, shit. The ego is a form of PTSD. Like, that feeling where you feel like you're behind your eyes and you're in your head? Oh, and like, think of the word attention. Attention is literally a tension. I exist. I'm human. This is who I am. This is who I am. Hold on. This is reality. Not a word was said. There was no one to do it. And it's going just going. Our very bodies, just because it takes a long time doesn't mean it's not. It's like static. Imagine if you aged like 10 years per second. You would just see that you're just this thing that goes. You're just this rocks, whole mountains, man. Mountains being turned into sand and out into the water, and plants. Everything is just. And we have a really hard time with that because we want to be solid. We want something permanent that we are, that reality is. We want something. This is what it is, and I know it. Alan Wallace talks about like wearing tight ass clothes. It's because we really feel like we're there. We're really here right now. Like I feel, you know what I mean? That works with YouTube. Yeah. Dab hit time. Wave, how is it? November. Dude, have you noticed? I don't know where you live right now. Have you noticed how fucking hot it is? Not hot, but like just weirdly warm. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. This moment is everything but the past and the future. This is it. But we completely and earnestly ascertain that it's going into this thing and is leaving a wake behind it, And like, talking about like the past is, this moment is because of the past, is like saying the ship is because of the wake, The ship going is because of the wake behind it, but it's all one thing. It's all one going, It's like water. Fish and C, if you're still here, What do you think's the difference between a reaction and a response? Because that's a big thing. People are like, oh, you don't want to react, you want to respond. What's the difference? Absolutely. That right there, dude, see what you just said, that's called semantics. And that's kind of what I'm fucking talking about in my last video of like, when I say the word God, it represents something to me, and it probably represents something to you as well, but it's completely different. Maybe it's kind of similar, but when I say God and the feelings it arouses in me, and then you hear that word coming from me, and you hear God and you think of what you think of God, you know what I mean? Or love, or self, or death. When we hear these things, it's completely different between everybody. And what is the medium through which we're actually here together? Composure. So I guess controlling your emotions. See, I don't really know either, bro. Like, that's the thing, is we're all told, like, we got to work on our reactions and learn to start responding and trying to understand what that means, where, like, somebody does something that maybe pisses you off, reacting immediately to that. You know, see, I had this experience just today, actually. Or yesterday, last night. I came home, it was today. I kind of have bad memory. I came home and the window was open, and I have a cat. I have multiple cats, but one cat that if the second it has the opportunity to get outside, she will. And I saw this open window, and my brother was laying down, and the second I saw the open window, I was like, dude, is Arabella outside? And he's like, whoa, no. Like, and then I realized the screen and that there's no hole and she can't get out. But my immediate reaction to that of the window's open, you know what I mean? Or like somebody insults you, or somebody does something mean or flatters you. It's anything. And the reaction. And, you know, I like what you say in the sense of gaining a sort of composure. Like, yeah, gaining composure in the emotional response to it. And allowing, you know, somebody says something to you, allowing it to kind of absorb and just be for just a second, just a second. You know, somebody asks you a question, you're in a conversation with someone and they ask you something and you sit silently to think about it for a minute. And they're like, damn, like, are you even listening? Do you, like, you know? Or like, even better, like you're in an argument with someone, and if you don't say something quick enough, if you don't chime back quick enough, you failed the argument. You lost this argument. What are you doing? You don't have something to say immediately? Come on, say something, you know? Arguments are just like sheer reaction. And if you take a moment to contemplate on how you feel about this argument and what you're going to say, You know what I mean? Like, if you aren't talking back immediately, like, it's trying to, like, shut each other down. It's so silly, man. So silly. What's up, 2X Essential? How you doing, bro? Okay, hold on. I'm reading your comment, fish. Haven't you noticed it's kind of hard to accept complicated emotions like anger or like fear or anxiety or sadness? It's hard to appreciate these things. You know, we have little windows where it's like we really do bask in that feeling and allow that feeling. But usually, if we're sitting and trying to allow this negative feeling, it's because secretly off in the back of our minds, we think that that's how we get rid of it. That's how we push it away. Okay, I'm going to allow this so that it goes away. That's not allowing it. That's not allowing it. Cognitive dissonance. See, I've heard that term a lot, bro, but I haven't really wrapped my head around like what it means. Doesn't that kind of have something to do with like in the presence of facts, like factual stuff, like, yeah, I don't really know what it means. I've heard it a lot though. Absolutely. Meditation helps create a space in our cluttered minds to sort and see things. Absolutely. Breathing deep helps you. I love it, man. Fish, see, like, I love what you're saying, man. I feel it. Like, we could just sit here. We could just be, you know? And that's something, like, don't you sometimes, like, kind of wish, like, people could just rest in this moment together without, gotta go here, gotta do that, let's go see that, let's go eat that, let's go feel that, let's go listen to that, let's go do that, let's go experience this, let's do that, do this, do that, do that. And there's no, I mean, I don't know. See, like a really wise being can go and be all active and in you know, still be right here. But a simple little Westerner like me sometimes just needs to chill. And sometimes I want to do that with people. But like to them it's boring, it's awkward, it's weird, tense. This is kind of weird. What do I say? Are they gonna say something? What are they thinking? Damn, this is kind of weird. But that's our uncomfortability with just isness. So cognitive dissonance is like forced thinking and regardless. Yeah, like kind of what I was touching on slightly a minute ago, like in the presence of facts, factual information, because they believe what they believe, the facts don't mean shit to them. I mean, and we can talk about what a fact is, whether it's logic, whether it's moral, whether it's like physical and whatever. But like to not feel what someone's actually saying, or to not even be available to what they're trying to say, because this is how it is, you know. But it's not intentional, yeah. Makes you wonder, like, just the ignorance itself. Are we intentionally ignorant so that we wake up to our ignorance? Or is ignorance just a kind of how it goes around here, like in this dimension? Yeah, exactly, Fish. That's kind of exactly what I was just thinking, was like, are we intentionally being ignorant? Not, and not on an ego level, but on a grand, Shiva, the play, Maya. What's all this for? What's all this about? It reminds me of Alan Watts talking about, like, if you were God and you knew everything and you knew who you are and what this is, you would get so bored. Think you know the future, you know the past, you know where it's all headed. So in essence, it's already happened. It doesn't matter what point of it you're at, because you are it and everything. You know the whole rundown. You would just be like, what the fuck's the point, man? Like Alan Watts said, he says, man, get lost. And that reminds me of, like, the if you had the ability to dream any dream you wanted to dream, like just right now in a natural sense, like you can control your dreams from here out, you'd probably go to bed tonight and you'd experiment with a little bit. You'd kind of, if you're like philosophical, you'd analyze the dream realm and see what it's all about and do really interesting, fascinating things in that realm. And then your pleasure, your desires start kind of coming in. It's like, all right, tonight I'm gonna do that. Tonight I'm gonna fulfill all my little fantasies. I'm gonna do everything I've ever wanted to do. And you do that for a little while, and then you're like, all right, like, I've experienced that, all those pleasures and stuff. I've kind of looked around this dream world a bit. I want to, like, adventure. I want to do something a little risky. Let's make things a little dangerous here. So you go about these crazy adventures. You go fight a dragon and save a princess, or go do some crazy adventurous thing, But still in the back of your mind, this is just a dream, and this isn't really an adventure. Because I know this is just a kind of creation. So you'd get to the point after a while of doing all your desires and looking into the dreams and doing all the, fighting all the soldiers and doing all the crazy extravagant stuff. You would get to the point where, theoretically, you're like, you know what I want to dream tonight? I want to forget that I'm dreaming and be completely surprised. I don't want to know what's going to happen. I don't want to know that I'm dreaming. I want to be completely lost in it, so that when the dream's over, I can go, wow, that was a fucking killer dream. And here it is. This is it. We don't live like we're dreaming. We think it's real. We think it's intense. And it's full of surprises. We don't know. A plane could fly in this fucking house right now. I could just, like, die. My loved ones could just die. Something crazy could just happen. We see that's how life is, just full of surprises and unexpected stuff, and we're just all running around trying to cope with it because we think it's so fucking real. We think it's so real. And that's that analogy, is that, that was the point of what I was saying, the intentional ignorance. That's exactly what I was saying. Is this all intentional so that we get lost into it and suffer so greatly and think it's so real and crazy and intense, so that we're able to be astonishingly awakened from this illusion, this Maya? Because we're definitely not going around intentionally being ignorant. We actually like to go around thinking we know everything and we know what's up. And even if you say, I don't know anything, like a Gnostic, you feel a kind of confidence in that because you think you know that, It reminds me, I keep dropping all this Alan Watts stuff, like, say you get, like, a paranoid person that doesn't trust anything. You ask them, if you can't trust anything, how can you trust your distrust? Why do you trust that? Oh God, why do you trust that feeling of the distrust? You do trust something. I'd actually put that the complete other way around, bro. That awareness is like a blank canvas waiting for ignorance to be painted on it. Entertainment. Yes, exactly, bro. Exactly. This is like, you know, like tell someone life is a movie. And they're like, this isn't a movie. If this is a movie, this is the worst movie I've ever been a part of. And you realize that's what a good movie is, when you don't even know it's a movie anymore. You're like, think of like what a good movie is when you become the character, you become what's happening, and you create all these relationships with the different characters, and you feel yourself as like the main character, and the whole storyline of the thing playing out. If you're sitting there going, this is a movie, they're all acting, this isn't even real, it kind of kills it all, kills the vibe, you know? This isn't. And if you're over here going, like, all about your problems and your desires and, like, right in it, you don't even know you're in a movie. That's the best movie ever. The Tao is fucking far out, man. Hold on. Alright. The Tao that can be described is not the eternal Tao. The name that can be spoken is not the eternal name. Lao Tzu says, those who speak do not know, and those who know do not speak. Yet he said that, you know? What is it? How is it like Wu Wei, non-action, actionless action? That shit's far out, man. That shit's like, it's the essence of spontaneity, but we have a hard time trusting spontaneity and becoming comfortable with spontaneousness, you know, because we need everything to be dictated and thought out, and like, what's gonna happen now, and what does this mean, what I'm about to say, and Wu Wei intuition. I feel like intuition is realizing there is a way, but the way itself, Wu Wei, it's not, it just, I don't know, it is and it isn't. It's, I could better describe it by not saying anything about it. It's the unfolding. Yeah, I just saw that comment. Fish, have you worked much with psychedelics? Because the way you describe it feels like it was implanted in you. Extremely, yeah. I forget that's probably how you came across my videos. You know, you might have noticed this yourself, but when you're on DMT, you know, and what we call communicating with aliens, you know, communicating with beings, the entities, realizing that the way that they communicate to you, it's actually kind of easy to take an entire DMT trip with beings and the breakthrough and all of it and go, I was just really high. Like, I was just hallucinating and that was my mind and I made it all up. You can go that route if you want, but realizing the difference between your own internal dialogue during it, and suddenly they speak to you through your thoughts. So it's very easy to think, wow, that was a weird thought of mine. But it's literally being implanted into your mind. Whether they say hi or whether they say whatever they say, it comes through your mind and it occurs in your mind. And it's not like you hear it, but it's implanted of what they said. And realizing that thing that just happened, that wasn't me thinking. That was a direct communication, you know. It's like when you're thinking or just chilling and or you're talking to someone and then someone says something to you, you know? It's like that wasn't me. That's how it feels with the entities communicating with us. Hold on, I saw your comment, see. Imagine if we all got to chill once we die. To be brutally and utterly honest, I don't fucking know at all. I kind of have this feeling in the very far, far back of me that just thinks it's just coming and going and coming and going and coming and going. And it all kind of dissolves into the emptiness of the past and the future. Go back far enough in your past and it's just where is it? Who were you? Where'd you come from? And go deep enough into your future and you get to the same just nothingness. Even a moment from now, but we're able to, now's that moment that I was thinking about and it's still here. But like, I have no clue at all what it means to die and like what happens afterwards. There's lots of Tibetans and Hindus that'll tell you all about the Bardo states and what happens. I will be... Oh God, Fish, you got... So who is this me that will be dirt more than me? You know? It was just like a Bardo. Was it like DMT? Because what I've read about like the Bardo states is... Jake, is that you, bro? Yeah, dude, yeah. Oh, shit. Yeah, Fish was the near-death experience. You say it was like a Bardo, but is that to say like it was like kind of like DMT, or, you know? Because what I was saying before Jake messaged something, a lot of what I've read about the Bardo states and the visuals and the encounters and the feelings are literally like when you smoke a high dose of DMT, like straight up. And it even reminds me of what the time Terence McKenna gave DMT to a Tibetan monk. And coming out of the experience, Terence was like, well, you know, what'd you think? And the Tibetan monk said, this is the farthest reaches into the bardos that the human being can go without not coming back. As in, this is the deepest into death that the human being can go without actually dying. And that's just, you know, DMT is fucking so out there, man. Hold on, I'm gonna read what you just said. Black and warm, like honey. Oh, homie. What happened? Like, that's so far out, man. It reminds me, the past few weeks or so, I've been listening to like people's near-death experiences and stuff. And dude, it's literally DMT. It's like, if that video, if you like cut it to a certain point and titled the video DMT Trip Report, no one would argue, you know? Because it's just too weird, man. It's too together. It's very far out. The only near-death experience I've ever had, and I don't even know if it was a near-death experience, I knew I was going to die. I had taken this drug, I think it was MDA, but it could have been meth. I don't know what the hell it was, really. I knew I was going to die, and dude, the MDA, oh my god. We're out here talking about psychedelics being what wake people up, but MDA literally scared the fucking shit out of me. Like, I knew I was going to die, and I've never felt that power of conviction with psychedelics. I've had crazy mind-bending perspectives on psychedelics, but when I took this MDA and I start fucking overheating and my heart beating and I'm profusely sweating and I can't cool down, I'm like, I'm dying. I'm gonna die. I did it. I took this drug and I just wanted to like experience this, and now I'm gonna die and I have to say goodbye to all these people and my loved ones, and I don't know where I'm gonna go, and I'm scared as fuck, but hey, I guess this is what I'm doing because I'm dying right now. That took me on one of the most profound like mind trips ever. And like, yeah. That's the one. And I mean, I did have this one experience where you can see the scar on my wrist. I went, like, my house was locked and I needed to get into my house. And you know those windows where you can, like, pull the things to latch it shut? It was latched and I thought, okay, I'm just going to push on this window to break it up past the latches, to try to break the latches. And I went to push, and when I pushed, my hand smashed through the glass window. And dude, like, think of the nastiest, most open, deathly looking wound And that's what my wrist looked like, bro. Like, just laid open. I could see the bone and all these veins and nasty meat. And I thought I was gonna die. I kind of thought I was gonna die. I literally screamed in fear. See, dude, what makes me think it might not have been MDA is the dosing. I wasn't weighing the doses, and I know how touchy milligrams are, but, you know, I was taking little bits of it, and I had done it like 3 times before the time where I thought I was going to die. And it felt incredible. It felt literally like a serotonergic reminder and very familiar in that family. And it's not like LSD intense, but like the colors are just beautiful and the feelings and music and talking. And then that was just tiny little bits. And then that one night where I thought I was going to die, I remember I had a normal dose that I usually would take, and it was, of course, just eyeballed. And there was also this little rock, meaning it wasn't fully crushed up. And I took my dose, and I took that little rock, and I chewed it up in my mouth and ate it. And that little bit of a difference in the dose, and it was, like, too much. Like, way too much of the... Like, it wasn't good feeling at all. It was completely, like, overwhelming stimulation of, like, just the sweating and my vision was going blurred and I couldn't see anything and my thoughts were spiraling and I was sweating and I'm, like, slurring my words as I'm talking and, like, moving around the room. If you saw me, you would be like, what, that guy's fucked up right now. Like, and my poor brother was there the whole time and he had taken a little bit and never tried it. And he's like, what the fuck is my brother going through right now? Dude, I was on that MDA, like, the whole next day. And I've also never taken MDMA. I've only taken what I thought was MDA, but I don't even know if that was MDA. Have you ever tried ketamine? I fucking love ketamine, dude. Oh, yeah, man. See, you're still here. What's up, bro? Thank you so much for still watching, bro. I feel like this is kind of like the icebreaker of my live videos, and I didn't know it'll, like, pop up so readily for you guys. I thought I would just be kind of sitting here, like, with nothing to talk about, no one to talk to, so it's like, why would I go live? But no, it's awesome that you guys are chilling here. Dude, ketamine is the one drug that I just can't get if I want it. I don't, like, and I don't want a lot of drugs, you know, but ketamine is the one thing. It's like, I'm never able to find someone that can get it. Where's the Psych Substance collab? Dude, Psych Substance is going through a hard time, man. And I love him and respect him. I was listening to a guy talking about him, and he, like, Psych Substance straight taught me so much about harm reduction and setting and easy on the dose and get a scale and test your chemicals with reagents, to the point where people I've been buying LSD from, I was like, and yeah, just to let you know, like, I'm going to test these with this reagent that shows if it's LSD, and if they're like, yeah, that's cool, man, knowing that, okay, this is probably, you know what I mean? Like, Psych Substance. I want to see him on Joe Rogan, dude. See, you're saying same to not being able to find ketamine? Yeah. Ketamine is a psychedelic associated on the slow end. I've never tried salvia. I've never tried PCP. Ketamine, bro, and I've never been in a K-hole either. I've never done like a line of ketamine. The way I've always done it is tiny little bumps every 20 to 30 minutes. And dude, like I still feel it to this day. Like I don't drink alcohol like ever. And if there was ever an occasion where people were drinking but there was K there, I would do ketamine. Fuck the drinking. Give me a bump of ketamine every 30 minutes, you know? It's just like, and I have gotten like kind of deep on it before where like I took a little more in the bump, and dude, like nitrous is, hold on, I gotta say this about the ketamine, like the feel of it when you snort it and the smell of it and the drips of how right when it starts to drip you start feeling it, you know, like, and the vibe, bro, and it's like so chill. It's so chill, and if you do enough, it's like completely introspection machine world, but like it's not as like raw and intense, you know. And yeah, Jake, nitrous, bro, the ways we did it together, what you should do is you get a whole box, you get your thing, and you sit down alone or lay down and you do them obviously safely, you know. You do one, take some breaths, do another one, you keep doing them, bro, and you're like teetering on being completely in this like black hole of anesthesia. And the way you think, dude, the way you think in that realm, and the way the thoughts are bouncing, and oh yeah, right, well that's because of that, and like the way you think on it is like, it literally feels like the feeling of like, oh my god, I gotta talk about this is crazy. But then as it goes away, it's that whole way of thinking, and how everything, like, you know, like I'd usually have my AC going and everything just turns into like, and then I'm just gone into this, and then I come back slowly and realize my body's laying in the bed. And dude, like like I said, the little ways that we were doing it, where we just do one or two and feel that, like when you chase it, bro, and you keep going with it, not to sound like a junkie or anything, but just like, that's if you want to have an actual experience with it and see what it's about and how you are on it, rather than have like a buzz. You do it, you sit down and you do it. And yeah, see, I saw your message, ketamine is so comforting. Dude, fuck crack, bro, what the fuck? And they just describe astral projecting, like walk around the city. Yeah, that's so far out, man. That's so far out. Like I said, I've never been in a K-hole. I've been to, what was it? There's a certain, like, it's kind of like the feeling of like a breakthrough, I guess, where like I'd be not aware of my body, and my body's just there while I'm on this like complete mind trip of some sort, you know? Hold on, what did you say? Kid is like alcohol on crack. Yeah, exactly, dude. Yeah, flush B12. That's the damage. Yeah, see, and you say binge there. That makes me wonder. Anytime I've ever done it, like, I only do like a box of 50 or whatever will last like 2 days, you know what I mean? If I'm doing it in that way where I sit down and do like 15 of them for one session, you know? But I've never like every single day, a whole box a day, crazy Steve-O shit. I can imagine really traveling down that trip would be very interesting and euphoric. It's very euphoric, bro. And it's very interesting. That's the thing. That's the line with drugs is, does it just feel good? Or is it put you in a really interesting headspace? Does it put you in a really interesting, where the contents of what's going on is like, I don't know how to describe it. Like, you just see these different consciousness expanding drugs, I guess, is like a blanket statement, rather than like feel gooders, you know? You've done ayahuasca, man, and I do not doubt that one bit. Like, people talk about how euphoric crack or meth or cocaine or heroin is, and something in me just feels like the things that you feel on psychedelics when you recognize the oneness and the communication and that you're eternal and that you're being carried and held, and how beautiful it is to even be alive, and how much you love your friends, and all that is the most profound, tickling warmth of bliss that I think just goes tears beyond what those things that just dump dopamine and endorphins into our body are like, you know? But I haven't really tried those things, so who knows? I haven't done DMT in a little while. DMT is like nitrous on the first hit, light and heavy at the... yeah, that's really interesting, man. See, and that's something else, is like, that's what's kind of interesting to me about nitrous, is not like the speed and the realm that you go into. It's literally kind of like you said, like DMT, but without any of the content and psychedelia and trippiness. It's just like this inner zone of, it's like everything vibrates into one, and there's just nothing. And as it's going away, you feel the thoughts kind of stringing and reconstructing your identity, and, you know, it's trippy, man. I have to keep pulling up this damn live chat. It keeps disappearing. Oh my god, see, that's right. You were telling me that you tried that shit, bro. Oh my god. Now that is spirituality right there, dude. It's lame, he says. Come on over. You know where I am, Jake. You know where I am. Do a lot of THC, homie. I took 3 days off of smoking cannabis back in March, and when I came back, it was everything changed when the Fire Nation attacked type shit. Like, it was different, bro. Like, just, I was doing it every single day, multiple times a day, and then a little break, and then I come back, and it, to this day, I don't smoke nowhere near as much as I used to. It's just like, it's like a tool now. It's like this tool of expansion and more sensitivity to myself and my thoughts and other people, and I don't even know how the fuck to describe it, but like, I feel you. If I were to take like a dab or like a few bong rips, bro, I would be annihilated, like crazy, and weed was never like that for me. What's up, buddy? Exactly. I only hit a bong one, like, time, and now I like just just burn the crystals on a bowl or something, or a tiny little hit off a joint. So do you gotta be in the shower to do this, Fish? Or do you just take a shower and get out and meditate? Or is it something about the water? I feel that. I feel that white noise. Bro, the white noise is literally like the singing bowl. And I was realizing my brother was messing with this for quite a while last week or so and was just sitting there doing it. And have you ever sat and really listened to this thing? Like, it's a realm. It's a world, bro. That when you do this, it's different than when you see a different tone comes through. And if you overlap it in a certain way, rather than wow, it'll sound like wow, 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 wow. Like it's fucking trip town. And to think people just sit and dissolve into just this rock making this sound. Nah, man, that's not weird, bro. that's always the closer right there. Or I'm just fucking nuts. I'm either onto something or I'm fucking whack. I'm out. Here we all are. Dude, that's fucking nuts. You're hearing the water coming through your pipes with your neighbors. You're hearing what they're fucking doing as if, bro. I'm just picturing you high as fuck on edibles in the shower, turning on and off the faucet, listening to the voices coming through the water pipes. Have you seen those videos of water like creating geometric patterns based off of sound? Like, or even like sand on a tightly stretched thing, and when they take this little baton thing and go around it, like with different sized batons, you'll see the sand go wow and go into this fucking straight up DMT pattern, sacred geometry shit, and then he does a different baton and it goes and it all dances and rearranges into this other pattern. And the same thing happens with water. Or even like the thing where they like said and charged water with different emotional intents, like anger and love and that kind of stuff, and froze the water, and the crystals themselves of the water were different based off of what was said into it, which is just like, what the fuck, you know what I mean? And to think our bodies are like, what is it, like 70% water or something like that, like all the water that's vibrating in us, and the sounds of, like, going off of what you're saying, the sound being absorbed into us, and like what the moon does to the tides and how we respond with that, with the lunar cycles. And it's crazy, man. Crazy. Or like the bass of music, if you're at a concert, where your whole body just like, you know? Yeah, dude, I feel that. Damn, that's nuts. That concert thing yeah, that's fucking nuts, dude. I would try to see. What is the very coding that tells the seed to do it, to go, start, you know? And the seed came from a tree that was a seed that came from a tree that was a seed that came from a tree, and the driving force of that information itself, you know? It's why I'm addicted to plants, yeah. You want to hear something crazy, bro? You know, bubble hash? Like, you take the weed and mix it with ice and water and you make bubble hash. Last year I made bubble hash, and I poured the material outside behind, like, my garage. And this spring, I made it last year in like October. This spring I went out there and I was like pouring something out, and bro, there was wild pot plants growing. And I was like, what the fuck is that? And upon further examination, I realized there was seeds in the weed that I poured out there that I made bubble hash with last year, and they rotted. The weed rotted into the ground. I saw the weed, the bud, like, rotted, and the leaves had came down on that weed, and the snow, and it all melted, and the spring came, and the seeds that were in the weed that somehow made it through the winter and me making bubble hash sprouted up out of my rotted bud that was outside. And I was just like, as fucking if, bro, like, what? Life itself, exactly, man. Yeah. Life itself, which is that sheer mystery, that sheer driving, just going. The way we define life in physics is very, I mean, obviously we got to create our little boundaries so that it makes sense that life is something that has cells and grows and divides and grows and decays, you know? But, like, it's all life. It's all life. If it's not all life, it's awareness. It's all awareness, you know? It's all right here. What are we all doing right now? What the fuck even is this? Absolutely, Jake. Absolutely. When somebody asks, like, what's the answer to life? I've thought to myself before, there are only answers to questions and problems. And the universe isn't a question or a problem. It is. There isn't an answer to isness. It just is. Who said answers? Man, like, you got to appreciate, you got the physicists, you got the psychologists, you got the neurologists, you got the chemists, you got the biologists. They're all looking at different things of the same thing. The neurologist doesn't care about atoms because he's aware that it's our very perception of atoms that, creates atoms, and our very neurology of consciousness that the world even exists at all, Like, the physicist is looking out and saying, wow, what is all this? The psychologist is looking at others and saying, that's that kind of person, those behavioral patterns, and they probably, believe in this kind of stuff. And then you got, like, the biologist that's looking at all the cells and the dividing and what stage of life you're at and how you're decaying. And the neurologist is looking at the development of your brain and neural pathways and learning and neurotransmitters and chemicals and all that crazy shit. And then you got the like the philosopher, or the according to psychologists, the introspective person, contemplative person, the one that's saying, well, who is this all occurring to? I don't care if I'm a physical material, if I'm a thought, if I'm a pulse of electricity in cells. What is this? What the fuck is a thought? What is an atom? What is a pulse of electricity inside of cells? What is identity? What is a thought? What is this? And trying to learning to live with just the isness that is. And learning the ways of, like, okay, I have no control. Everything is just going. I think I have free will, but I don't really have free will. I just am. Learning, okay. Oh my God, that was a surprise. Wow, I wasn't expecting that. That wasn't in my handbook. Thinking, oh, if I wrote this life, I wouldn't have done that, A trickster will find thoughts for an underused mind to think. Jung is a very interesting person. And I haven't taken enough time and consideration to look into his work, I've heard so many far out stories about him, though, and, like, listened to, like, an interview of him talking about shit that's just, like, very interesting, Like, I heard this, hold on, what's that say? Capital S, I like that. So the trickster is like the rascal that the cosmic humor of life itself. The thing that doesn't necessarily care about the sake of your ego, your selfish ego, but is there for the benefiting of your very unfolding, of awakening, you know? Does that kind of jive with what you're talking about? You know, I've heard about the court jester. The court jester, they're the one that can say anything, they can make the jokes, they can insult and taunt the king, but nobody gives a shit because they know that that's what he's there for. To be the crazy one, to be the one that's sporadic and random and funny in moments of serious tension and that kind of stuff. The ego is false, yes. Notice how the king is up against the back of the wall so that nobody can be behind him. And the guards are right off to his immediate peripherals where he can see what they're doing. Right up, backed up into a corner. Everything needs to be out in front of him. It is trippy, bro. Like, it makes you think, like, all this shit is like just a metaphor of the same thing, bro. Like Christianity and the Bible, God talking about, like, Jesus saying, I am the Son of God. He didn't say you weren't. He said, I am is the Son of God, you know? And all these different statements and, yeah, the arrangements of the royalty royalty stuff with the jester. It's like, it's all serious and stern and you have the hierarchy, but then there's just this little aspect of like humorous bullshit that everybody accepts and he's supposed to be there. That's part of the role. The trickster. Remember the vibe of being the class clown? Were any of you guys kind of that guy? You do something outrageous and you just like vibing with the class. Like, they're all laughing, dude. They're not focused on what she's teaching because they're all fucking laughing. Yeah. Oh my god, dude. I'm in class and you know what? She's putting this thing on the projector and doing this big old math thing. I just go and unplug the projector. Oh shit, bro. Fucking great. Everybody's laughing. In what way? In the sense of not caring for the selfish desires of the ego? Because that's not bad. That's not inherently bad. That's not like, that's good, man. Self-sabotaging. I see what you're pointing at here, man. Self-sabotage is real. You just wake up and start scheming on some bullshit. Like, something's wrong. I'm doing something wrong. This isn't right. Something needs to change. I need to do something. I need to stop doing this. I should start doing this. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. It reminds me of talking about Alan Watts talking about the tremble of anxiety is the very same vibrating tremble that transforms into just uproarious laughter. The same thing that's going, oh god, I can't get out, what am I gonna do, I'm trapped, this is so bad, is the same thing that explodes into the ecstatic entire body laughing of just, oh my god, you know? Oops. I mean, yeah, look at somebody's lives, bro. Look at people's different, look at what people have to go through, you know? Look at what people go through. Deaths and murders and robberies and war and starvation and poverty and um, racism and sexism and all of it. Look at how dark it is. Yeah, right. What you just said, Jake. When I hear the word sinister, I think of I do kind of think of evil, a lack of remorse, awareness. And Jake, what Fish is kind of talking about here, at least what I think he's talking about, is like the very structural feeling of the imprisonment of our way of being, of like, fuck, I'm trapped in this. I don't know how to get out of this. I don't know if I'm going to make it out of this. What should I do? What can I do? I feel like is kind of what he's talking about as well. And in that sense, those are the intrusive thoughts of the feeling of imprisonment and doubt and paralysis of action, you know? It is very real. It is very real, man. It's what makes us run away and change our life in some big dramatic whoosh, you know? See, I'm glad to see you still here, brother. Thank you very much. It's emotional karma running its course. What do you guys think of destiny? That this whole live call and what you're gonna say, it's already happened, and what tomorrow and your whole life and this whole incarnation of who you're gonna talk to, what's gonna happen, how you're gonna feel about what's happening, how you think you're have free will and you're making choices is all just laid out. It's this very laid out, very accurate and articulated equalizing of energy that is the karma that we've created over lifetimes, and this is just all going, you know? It's beautiful, it's easy to say it like that, it's very melodic to speak in that way, but do we live like that? If we believed that, never mind. I was gonna say, if we believed that, we wouldn't care. If we really felt that destiny, it just is. But see, that's the misunderstanding of the mind of, oh, so it's all destined, so okay, I'm not gonna do anything. It's all just gonna happen anyway. But that very thought is the destiny, your destiny of he's gonna go and try to do nothing now because he thinks there's nothing to do, and it's all You can't, that's the idea of the no free will. You can't not do what you do. You can't stop doing. That's the imprisonment of karma, you know, of action. We are in karma. We are karma. We can't not be doing. Sitting in a cave, you know, and you got a big beard and dreads, you're doing something, you know, that's what you're doing. And to deny the level of being here is the same delusion of if you were to be extravagantly outdoing, not recognizing even the potential of not doing. You know what I mean? It reminds me of I think it was Gurdjieff that said this. He says, in order to break free from prison, you must admit that you're in prison. If you think you're free, no escape is possible. Which is a very far out idea. Because we hear the Buddhists and they're all saying, we're free. We're all free. We're free. I am free. And if you go, yeah, I am free, it's all okay, you're bypassing, you don't feel free. You're not getting down with what he's actually saying. It's a kind of blind faith. He's free, so I am free too. But that freedom comes from the recognition of the very human predicament that we're a part of our selfishness, our just blatant root selfishness. That, damn it, me not wanting to be selfish is selfish. Me not wanting to desire is desiring to not desire. Realizing, oh my God, I am in just a pickle. I am in a loop and I don't know what to do. That's kind of the basis of admitting that you're in prison. And that's the first step in breaking free from prison, is to realize I'm not free. I don't feel free. I don't feel free. I don't feel liberated, you know? A set death, right? But I mean, what if your set death is the time you try to kill yourself and you die? Or what if your set death is like everything's set in that sense of karmic destiny, you know? How you're gonna try to kill yourself and you're not gonna die, and then a week later you're gonna get hit by a car and actually die. Is that to say that you weren't supposed to die when you tried to kill yourself and you were supposed to die from the car accident? Or is it the circumstances of the unfolding? You know, I don't know. It's fucking far out. Like, I mean, dude, I feel what you're saying because it reminds me of a story. Ram Dass's guru, Maharaji, Neem Karoli Baba. They were like walking across a bridge and there was a river under it. And Maharaji told one of his devotees, jump in that water. And the devotee said, Maharaji, I can't swim. You know that. I don't know how to swim. And Maharaji said, jump in that water, you know? Because, you know, he's weird. He's a guru. He's telling you to do random shit because somehow it's tied into your awakening. And the devotee realized that the faith that he has in Maharaji, if he's... No, it was Maharaji that told him this. He said, if you're not meant to die, you won't. And if you're meant to die, you will. Now jump in that water. And the faith the devotee had in Maharaji, he jumped in the water and it was only knee deep. And like that kind of feeling of, if I were to try and kill myself right now, if I'm not, like you were saying, Fish, the set death, if I'm not meant to die by doing that, I won't die. I like the word inertia a lot, man. I use that word as well in description. The momentum of mind, the inertia of action, just like you're saying right there. And yeah, dude, what was that dream like? Because I had a dream. I've had a dream with Maharaji in it once. I've had a dream with Ramana Maharshi once, and I had a dream with Anandamayi Ma once. And the Maharaji one was the most like ecstatic. And I don't know if I'm tripping out, but Jake, I think you were in that, bro. But I was at like this ashram, you know? When we talk on here. Yeah, bro. Fish, I don't know if you like make videos or not, but I'd love to. Yeah, I feel that. But yeah, the dream with Maharaji, there was this classroom and all these students writing and studying, and I was like walking through it, and I was like, they were mad at me for not sitting and studying or something. And then there was this big open like atrium area. And I remember me and a group of people were all like by the staircase, like peeking out because we knew something important is going to happen right there. And Maharaji came out and sat down. And I went up to him and I sat with him. And I can't remember if he said something to me. I don't think he did, but who knows? He very well could have. But he caressed my cheek. Like just rubbed my cheek. And I was filled with ecstasy and bliss and wonder and amazement. Like literally like the darshan, the actual darshan of Maharaji that all these devotees got to experience. I felt like I experienced that. Yeah, man. Like I said, Jake, I'm not sure if you were in it, but you very well might have been, or maybe it was you telling me about that made me think like that. Yeah, that's so far out, homie. Fish, what you just said. Isn't that what everyone's experienced? You know what I mean? The darshan of just being with him. And my dream with Ramana Maharshi wasn't very intimate. What I do remember is, Jake, you'll think this is funny. We were in like the cafeteria of our elementary school, strangely enough, and there were all these people in there. And Ramana Maharshi was playing this crazy Indian instrument that doesn't even exist, and it was like a mix of a sitar and a tanpura, and he was plucking the strings, and he gave it to me and let me play it. And the sound that thing fucking made, man, like I said, this thing doesn't even exist, you know? But that was my dream with Ramana Maharshi. And my dream with Anandamayi Ma was very interesting. It was very funny and heartfelt and mysterious. Let me see if I can remember it properly. I was like on this rock wall, walking on this rock wall, and there was like a pond or something. And I'm walking on this rock wall, and there was a rock in the middle of the pond, and sitting on that rock in the middle of the pond was Anandamayi Ma. And it didn't, like, I mean, I was gonna say it didn't blow me away, but it kind of did, where I was walking and I see her sitting out there and I'm just filled with like love. And I remember I say to her, I say, "Hi, Ma." And she waves at me and says, "Hi, Ma." And I say, "I love you." And she says, "I love you." And she's like copying me, like saying the same fucking thing to me, dude. And I think she said something that insinuated that I was interrupting her and I needed to leave. Like I was disrupting her from her meditation or something, which was very archetypally interesting, I guess, if you think about it in like a symbolic way. But yeah, that was far out. Very amazing experience, and like the weirdness of her like repeating back to me what I said to her. It felt so real and like purposeful. It was very sweet.
Fish, you were in my dream, man.
Fish, I feel you, bro. I feel you. You know, there's times where I'll look into the photo of, do I have it right here? Hold on, I'm right here. Don't start crying, Fish. Don't start crying. That's it, man. There's times I've looked into his eyes in that photo, or this photo. He's younger than all of us in this chat right now, I'm pretty sure. Just fucking mind blown. Like, just here. He's just here. And the power, man. Or listening to certain Indian music. Listening to certain... I'll just start crying. Or if I'm listening to a chant. Like... That's bhakti, bro. That's bhakti. That faithful, blissful, completely romantic devotion, you know? Yeah, I actually, I don't know if you've seen it, Fish, but like I occasionally will make videos where I'm using this little mind thing here to describe what I think he's fucking talking about in this Q&A. And yeah, it's just very incredible. Yeah, just seeing him just looking. And to think some people, you know, like my dad or like, you know, people, just random people, would look at this and like giggle and be like, what the fuck? Like just this old half naked guy looking at me for the cover. Like who the fuck is he? And how they don't know the levels, bro. They don't know the levels. I just did a bit, remember it. I love you, bro. Wait, Jake, what are you talking about, bro? Oh, the dream where I was playing that instrument that like doesn't even exist. Cause I feel that, man. Yeah, yeah. You know, it reminds me of a time my brother, or like, yeah, like my brother woke up one morning and there was a tune of a song was playing in his dream that wasn't a real song at all. And my brother said it was this plucking of this Indian like guitar, like Chinese, like Japanese music type shit, and it sounded so fucking beautiful. And he made this beautiful plucking melody of this like like just this beautiful elaboration that he said he woke up one morning and that was stuck in his head, but it wasn't a real song. It was in his dream. Or like what's his name? Dolly. That guy, there's this guy like Salvador Dali or something like that. I don't know if that's it. He was like a painter, really far out visionary painter. And I heard that on a lot of the things that he's made, he would sit at his dinner table and would like wait until he's nodding off, and this thing would fall off him and hit the table, and it would stir him out of his hip right on that verge of sleeping. And that's when he would start to paint. That's when he would start to create his things, you know, right on that, in that hypnagogic state. I want a pan drum, a big weird one. You know what I want, man? I want one of those gongs, those huge fucking gongs that you can just hang out in the woods and just fucking vibrate through the woods. Express it with the music. That's beautiful, Jake. And with you being in this band and working on music, I'm very excited to see what you guys are going to manifest out of that space you're talking about. The collaboration of all of your spirits together in what's coming out, you know? Music is poetry, man. Music is poetry. Poetry isn't even writing in the very same sense that you're talking about, Jake. And yeah, it is Dolly, isn't it? Yeah, dude, Fish, what you just said about the dubstep, bro, like, imagination is crazy. I feel that, dude. Oh my god. Holy fuck. Like, you can think of a dolphin with human legs running through the desert, Naruto style. Like, you can just think of fucking anything, bro. Like, you can just think of some crazy shit, you know? And what is new thoughts and new imagination in comparison to memory, you know? Yeah, exactly, Jake. And that's how it feels like with my videos, you know? None of it's like scripted. I want to talk about this thing that isn't words at all, but I'm going to try to sit here and use my little cognitive, conceptual mind to try and paint this picture, you know? Fish, I've never spun fire, but Jake, you can attest to this. We've seen those fire spinners at the hill, this festival I've gone to, and then that kid, Jake T, has gone to as well. And yeah, bro, there's people spinning all the spinning the things and the flaming batons and the ropes that are on fire and shit. It's beautiful. And I've never been in that zone. I've never done that. But I can imagine, man, it's just like any form, any method of feeling yourself with what you're doing, whether you're washing the dishes, whether you're surfing a wave, whether you're zoned into the articulation of a video game and doing really good, or you're sitting and focusing on your breath, or you're sitting listening to the of reality, or you're repeating a mantra, you're just getting down with the moment. It's bliss, it's therapy, it's healing, it's unraveling of all the bullshit that we've built up. And it's being in the moment. It's being here now, where there is not a doer, there's nothing that's being done. There's no problem because there's problems only occur to somebody. There's no time because it's just the happening of it. It's like when you're dancing, as Alan Watts says, you're not dancing to get to a certain point on the dance floor. You're just swinging that thing. You're just going, you know what I mean? You're just doing it. You're just going. And when two people dance together, how like they become one organism. They become one thing that's just vibing with the thing, you know? Yes, exactly, Jake. Exactly. And that's all of what Be Here Now is about. Be in the moment. Be in the moment. Be here now. Don't live in the past. Don't live in the future. Just, why do you think they're telling us to be here now? It's because when we're actually here now, there's no I that is here. And that is moksha. That is liberation. That is nirvana, bliss, oneness, timelessness, no birth and death. It's just, here it is. And we could all be in that right now. But it's a matter of letting go of the I that is, which is, as you guys have all probably noticed, you can't just do it unless you're literally like a sage that can just let it go. And it takes practice. And that's what the practice is all about, is about trying to be right here, trying to be here now, because we're everywhere else but here. But in reality, we're here. And that's the delusion, is that we're not living in the reality of what is. We're off in fantasy land and desire land and memory land and the PTSD of ego, like you were talking about, Fish. The essence of life is living. Reminds me of Alan Watts' quote, "The meaning of life is to just be alive. It's so plain and obvious and simple, yet everyone runs around in a great panic as if it were necessary to achieve something beyond themselves." Very well put. Fish, I feel you, man. And that reminds me of like the law of assumption, the law of attraction, manifestation. I kind of have a hard time with that stuff, man, because when I hear about that stuff, the Buddhist in me comes out, and it's like based entirely in desire. But then I realize that it's desire itself that drives us towards awakening. That's the most important desire, is the desire to awaken. And it's like kind of what Ramakrishna says, where you stir the fire with the stick, knowing very well that in the end you'll throw the stick into the fire, you know? Meaning you'll use desire itself to awaken, knowing that in the very end you will throw desire away as well, because it's done, you know? And manifestation and the law of attraction and the law of assumption, that stuff of, if you're waking up every day going, I'm not good enough, I'm not going to get anywhere, I don't like my life, I'm sad, I'm so upset that this happened, it's never going to get better, there's no way out of this, you know, just doubt is the evil when talking in terms of manifestation. You tell yourself positive affirmations, and the doubt says you're just trying to make yourself feel better. You think it's going to make something beautiful happen. There's no point in that. And then for some reason you adhere to the doubt because you think it's more rational and more logical. but it's actually just perpetuating your suffering. And the ability to actually maintain a space of positive affirmation, you know, it's very beautiful because it completely transforms the reality that you're living in. Not the outside that we think we want to control, but the inner perspective of the thing. That you realize it's okay. I have what I have what I want. You know what I mean? I have it. I don't need to look for it. It's right here. See, you're still here, bro. Yeah. And that's just it too, Fish, what you just said. We become the labels that we tell ourselves. We affirm what we think reality is. And, you know, like, I was hearing this very far out metaphor that, like, the subconscious mind is like the feminine womb of reality. And the conscious mind is the masculine dictating type of like authority, I guess. And how the womb gives birth to whatever it's, you know, because they're together, the subconscious and the consciousness. The womb, the feminine womb, gives birth to whatever the conscious mind thinks it is. It says, okay, you're right, here it is. So if you're telling yourself consciously the labels of this is how reality is, this is the kind of person I am, this is, you know what I mean? The subconscious gives birth to that, you know? Thank you so much for watching, Jake. And dude, you're right down the road. I wish we could have hung out today, but I took a nap and just got doing other shit. But yeah, thank you very much for watching, man. I love you so much. And of course, yeah, man. Still here. What's up, dude? Thank you very much, Fish. This conversation's been very interesting. And thank you guys very much. I honestly didn't even think anybody was gonna like be here, let alone talk. And this is exactly what I wanted with the lives, is the ability to interact immediately with you guys. I mean, minus a little delay there. But yeah, being able to interact with all of you and doing that thing, those collaboration conversations where I'll talk with any of you, you know what I mean? Where if we can get together on some platform where we can like record ourselves talking, you know, it's just so beautiful being able to like just pour the mind forth, you know? We're all alive. We've all been through so much. Whether you're young or old, we're all here right now. Like, we're all right here. We're all breathing. Hearts beating, blood pumping, thoughts going, words doing what they will. Oh my god, I didn't see that message. Shaman Tim, dude, I love him, and you know what? Me and him talked probably a month or so ago. We didn't record it. We literally just talked to catch up, and that's what's so fucking beautiful about like this channel and these opportunities, is getting to meet people like him, where we just talk and we catch up and we talk about stuff and how he's been going through all this stuff and I've been going through all this stuff and how we're working, you know, reminiscing on the psychedelics and the spirituality and the mindfulness and the meditation and just sharing, you know, our different philosophies. It was so great. And I don't know if you watched Shaman Tim's most recent video, but he's just like low-key busy as fuck. Like he's in college for some like pretty far out computer type stuff, and he's just doing his thing, you know. But yeah, I'd love to see another video from him, and I'd love to do another collab with him. Yeah, he's good shit. And Psychonaut Visions, I collabed with them quite a few times, but they stopped taking psychedelics, and they like left their YouTube channel behind, which was kind of hard for me. Like, damn, like, I don't know. Very interesting kids, very interesting people. Feels good to just be here. You guys living your lives right now. We're here together. And you know, it's crazy. Everybody, everywhere is happening right now. The peak of Mount Everest is blowing right now. The deepest, darkest trenches of the ocean are happening right now. People are laughing and crying right now, and fighting and loving. War. As much as I'd like to just sit here and just go, I think I'm gonna call it here. Slowly get ready for bed. What a beautiful first live, though. And thank you guys so much for being here to talk with me and share your thoughts and stuff you've been going through. Fish, we will make a video together, bro. Like you said, hit me up on Instagram. I'm sure you've probably seen my Northwood Shaman account. We'll start talking, get something in the works, figure out how we'll communicate. Yes. See, you got a good memory, man. You're on a track, bro. You know what's up. Maybe I feel like you've actually talked to me on there, bro. You were the one that was sending me all those fucking plant videos, weren't you? That was you, wasn't it? Yes, exactly. Yep. Yeah, I feel like you're actually following my main account. Yeah, man, hit me up with that stuff. See, you're so sweet, man. If you're still here, thank you. I love you. I love you, all of you guys. The community. the satsang, the sangha, the humans just chilling, just doing the thing. I love it, bro. I love it. Of course, you guys, we're always here. We're just not always talking in the physical, gross form. Namaste. Have a good night. Have a good rest of your day, whatever time it is for you. And I'm going to figure out how to shut this live off. So thank you guys so much.